This is Plastic Adventures.
2, 3.
Hey everybody, it is Steve and Doug hiatus due to real life and trips and all kinds of things. Uh, Today we're doing a sandbox and it's kind of a special one because Doug's had a really great sequence of things that happened and there's been a lot of great news that's been coming out, especially post Comic Con. So why don't we just get into it, man? Let's hear how the Comic Con was, how you liked it.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. And we have a lot of news to cover. But we have been out for about 3-ish months. And there have been a lot of things that have happened in the world that are not toy related. And I think we would be remiss if we did not mention that for at least one of those things here during our show, especially during the news segment. So during our hiatus, one of our heroes in the real world, in the wrestling world, passed away, and he was a very big, had a very big impact on my childhood, but an even bigger impact on Steve's. And Hulk Hogan had passed away during our time. In fact, he passed away while I was at Comic Con, and it was very sad to hear that. So. That's one of those things that before we got into the good news and all of the fun news, I just wanted to say very heartfelt condolences to Terry's family, and I wish them the best.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody who grew up in the time that we grew up didn't know who he was. The character that he portrayed on TV had a huge impact on how I shaped my moral compass. I was one of those afternoon cartoon kids. Parents split up at a very early age. So, in my formative years, when I'm looking for influences, I had the Optimus Primes and the Dukes of this world, and I had Hulk Hogan on the TV.
Mhm.
We don't really need to get into some of his outside of the ring life. We're all humans. We do things and say things that we regret, but honestly, no one can take away the impact that he had on a whole generation of young kids that came up in that time. And, everybody's going to have their ticket punched.
Mhm.
And all I can say is just thank you for all the good that came into my life through that character. People say John Wayne was a terrible human being, but look what that guy's movies did for this country and a whole generation of people. So I'm able to separate out character and man. Shatner wasn't the best dude in the world, but a lot of us love Captain Kirk. So
Yeah,
there you go, right?
yeah,
Um,
and like you said, a lot of us we're human beings. We say and do things sometimes in the moment that we don't necessarily mean because sometimes emotions get high or whatever. So it doesn't really matter to me what he said in the past. What really matters is the impact that he had, and he definitely had an impact. So that's
yes.
what I want to focus on.
Yeah, what you can't take away is that a lot of people are better people from being exposed to work that he did. I mean, this is a toy show. We shouldn't really dwell on it, but that's just honest feelings. And when you can put yourself there, at least you can look at a contribution a human being made and say, you know what, that was worth it.
It was.
So sad to see him go,
Yep.
and to take a great quote out of a bad Indiana Jones movie. We're getting to that age where life has taken a lot more than it's given. So here we
I
are.
know. Yeah, but thankful that we did exist in the same time as him and got to see some really great stuff. So, all right, let's
Right.
move on to some a little bit more fun stuff. You wanted me to talk about Comic-Con.
Yeah, yeah. Just kind of talk about what it was like going. I've never been to one of these big conventions before, and like you were at ground level with all the humanoids there. So how was it?
And boy, were there a lot of humanoids. Um, so normally I go to WonderCon, which is in Anaheim, and it is slightly smaller than Comic-Con. It still has a lot of the same stuff. You get a big vendor floor. You get to go to some panels. You have creators come and they give talks and they give, presentations and things. So you still get that stuff at WonderCon. However, Comic-Con is like 3 times that big. They take over the entire San Diego Convention Center, which when I say the entire thing, it's the entire thing. And if you've never seen the convention center, this thing is massive, multi-level, massive. And the vendor floor just alone, and we're talking not just mom and pop vendors from a local area. These are the big heavy hitter vendors that you see that you buy on the toy shelves at the store. Mattel, Hasbro, Super 7, Bandai, you know, all of the big ones. Nickelodeon was there, shoveling their stuff. Anything that you can think of had a booth at Comic-Con. And they were giving away exclusives. So it was everybody was filled, like shoulder to shoulder, sweaty body. You can smell everybody's funk and odor, and you're just like trying to get to the next booth without passing out. But it was all worth it because there were some pretty cool things happening. There were some panels that we decided to skip because there were just the lines were so long this time that it was like I would have to wait in line for 2 hours to see one panel and I would miss half of the day. And I'm like, and then seriously, I could go online 10 minutes later and see the panel, right?
Yep.
So there was, other than saying, oh, I was in the same room with, you know, the people from Superman, there really wasn't much to gain from going to the panels. There was a lot to gain, however, by going to see all of the different booths that were on the vendor floor. And there were some pretty good ones.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorites was one that we talked about earlier was the Masters of the Universe booth, which had a
Uh-huh.
full Castle Grayskull mock-up in the front of the booth. You walk through the drawbridge, which was surreal, by the way. And right there, right in front of you is the Power Sword from the new movie. And
Uh-huh.
you're looking at that. I don't seeing it in pictures, I'm like, it was okay. I don't know if it's going to be good. Oh my gosh, seeing that thing in person, getting to hold the hilt, that was phenomenally cool. That was like the best thing. You're looking at it and going, okay, if the movie is anywhere half as cool as the sword, it's going to be good. Because they put some really good
And they,
touches on that.
they had Skeletor's Havoc staff there too, was on
They did.
display,
It was on the
which
other
I saw
side. It was in a glass case. Couldn't touch that one, but
yeah. So they have released an image of Nicholas Gilatzin, I think is how
I
you say
can't
his
say his
name.
last. I can't say his last.
And he's not like He-Man proportions, but it's really looking like we're gonna get the
We're gonna get
power
the
vest
harness.
and the everything He-Man. And there was even a teaser that just an announcement teaser that was striking chords from the original theme song. So, good God, people. I mean, I get it if you're a Zack Snyder fan and nothing pleases you, but for the rest of us, please just come on, brother. Give this movie a chance because it looks like it's gonna frickin' rock.
It already looks good to me. Going in when we first heard all the announcements about, oh, Jared Leto is Skeletor, and I'm like, oh God, Jared Leto again. But when you
Yeah.
think about it, like maybe that one might kind of fit because so speaking of Jared Leto, he's also going to be in Tron Ares, which I don't know if you've seen
Uh-huh.
the commercials for that one. Um,
I did. I was kind of intrigued by that. I love seeing Jeff Bridges there again too.
yeah, and they got a really interesting premise of the grid coming to the real world now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds interesting. These days with movies, it's hit or miss, right? Either they get it right or they really poo-poo it. And I'm just hoping that they don't poo-poo these, right?
Yeah, I liked the second one. The one that was out 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I thought it was
absolutely.
pretty decent. I enjoyed it. So, with any luck, the new Tron will be really really good.
Yep.
Um, did you have a favorite booth that you went to? Was that the Mattel booth or was it a
There
different
was
one
there
that
was a
you
lot
you
of
went
booths.
to?
So the Hasbro booth was really cool. I got to meet the designers for Transformers, and I got to meet the designers for G.I. Joe Classified, who, by the way, down to
Uh-huh.
earth, really cool dudes. Okay. Um, and they were talking about what their inspirations were for the characters that they were designing. how excited they are that people love the lines and how excited they are when we get excited to see all of the things coming out. Um, we Lincoln actually pitched an idea to one of the Transformers designers, and the guy went, "Oh, that's a good idea." So I don't know if they can use like just unsolicited ideas, but I do know we piqued his interest when we were talking to him. We made him laugh, made him cool. Right beside him was the one of the head writers for one of the for the Transformers cartoon, the guy who created DevCon, and he was there talking about his character that he created. So that was really cool. Got to meet him. Um, and yeah, so Hasbro had a lot of things on display. They had the Snowcat, which that thing is humongous. Um,
Uh-huh.
I know that it's the HasLab backers have kind of slowed down a little bit, but like you and I were talking about earlier before the show, we think it's probably going to get backed, but it might struggle to make some of the tiers, I'm thinking. Um,
It's
but
possible.
but it was there and it was cool. I'm not gonna lie. That thing was huge and it looked so good. But they also showcased a figure that I'm like, oh, it's about time we got an actual figure of this one. So Pythona.
Oh yeah, and it looks great.
Yeah, she does. She looks just like she stepped right out of the cartoon. It's almost one for one perfect for the cartoon character.
Yeah, Nemesis Enforcer was great. So we've just got the Royal Guards and Globulus to go. And
Yep.
I think that I had kind of floated the idea in a chat. Maybe Globulus is a deluxe, and he comes with his weird green
The floating
floating
bob thing,
lizard
whatever that is.
pod thing that opens up. Yeah, yeah,
As long as we can be able to stick the
could be
time stick in
something.
his eye, I
Yes, yeah.
but
Reenact the cut short scene from the movie.
uh, um but yeah, there were some other really good booths that I really like. So the Atari booth was really cool. Um they're coming out with some new retro consoles. They revealed their Pac-Man edition 2600 Atari console, which is painted all yellow and has yellow joysticks, and it actually looks really cool. I would buy that one if it was available. I think it went on pre-order and then
Yeah,
promptly sold out, like everything does. Um, but then there was the Gundam booth, which was really cool. The Bandai Godzilla booth, which was really, really cool. Nickelodeon had a presence. Um, Super 7 had a presence there. And they were all like just huge, just larger than life booths that when you're walking through, you're like, oh, I should probably take a picture of this. And you forget half of the stuff has already happened that you wanted to take a picture of because you're just so enthralled by what's happening around you. Uh, you forget. But it was a great experience. I would say, we went 3 days. We went Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. We didn't go Saturday. We went Sunday. We missed the George Lucas panel. But like I said, really doesn't matter because we wouldn't have been able to talk to him anyway, and it was online seriously 10 minutes after the panel had happened. So nothing lost there. Did get to walk around to go to the artist alley, and saw a lot of the artists who drew the comics and the covers and things for that. I got to meet the voice actor for Storm Shadow. Keon Young, I think is his name. And he does so many voices. He as he was
yeah.
signing my card, he was doing all of the voices that he did for all of his other characters. Um, which is really, really cool. So it was a great experience. And then San Diego on top of that is beautiful, right? You go out, there's lots of food places to eat. The weather is always beautiful. I got a sunburn and I was happy for it. So yeah, everything turned out great.
Great, great. It sounds like a hell of an experience. Nicole and I have thought about hitting the Emerald City Comic Con over here when it comes around, and maybe doing some cosplay.
I would
So
recommend
some
it.
of the things that I saw in the news, I think we're going to, but some of the things that came out of Comic Con for news that surprised me. You know that company Nasal that has the biker mice from Mars and RoboForce?
Yep.
Dude, their Star Trek figures kick ass.
I
They've got
know.
that great Captain Kirk from the crossover movie with New Generation, and his hands are like behind his back, and the face sculpt is amazing.
I know.
And those things are all super affordable too.
It appears that way.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's like a must buy. That was one of my absolute favorite things that I saw. Um, Something that did really strike me, and it surprised the hell out of me, was Harmony Gold like loosened their death grip on the Robotech and Macross stuff, and now you've got Takara partnering up with Robotech, and they're producing.
That's a dream come
They
true.
showed an alpha beta combo there.
That is a dream come true.
Oh, it
Kara being able
certainly
to do
is.
that, yes.
Yeah, and it looked great. I don't know what it's going to cost, but knowing that that's like the doorway that gets opened at the Toynami booth, they had a bunch of what appeared to be Takatoku Valkyrie reissues in 155th, the Jetfire mold, making a
Oh,
comeback.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, you might not have seen them. There's a lot going on,
well,
and it looks like
I
they
did
have.
see the Toynami, and I saw the new Voltron that they're going to release, and I saw some of the new what are they called? The larger versions of the Battler Cyclone, which
Uh-huh.
like that's like a masterpiece edition, by the way. That thing is humongous. Um, so I did see some of those, but yeah, yeah. I must have missed that Jetfire because I was probably looking at something else.
Oh, 100%. They had like the Roy version, of Skull One, and they have a slightly updated head sculpt, it looks like, on all of them, but it's the faithful Takatoku 155th bodies. So they're all going to be in like that 12-inch range. My only question is how much, because I've been so on the fence on a 2001 Bandai reissue. Because like over time, those toys they get yellow,
They do.
especially the white ones, and even the reissue ones get yellow. I sold off my high metal Valkyrie that Bandai released in the early 90s in that kind of really cool gold colored box.
Oh yeah,
It was
you sold
a
that one?
grail for me. I did, because it was never going to get better. Like every year I had to pull that thing out and give it a peroxide vapor treatment to whiten it back up, and it
Mm,
was never out of the box. So if I wanted one that I could have out of the box, and not worry about it, the 2001 reissue it was a little gray. It wasn't like bright white. So, which is pretty accurate to the original cartoon. It's not accurate to Macross the movie, where it was white, but it was kind of gray toned in the original series. So, I've almost pulled the trigger a couple of times on one of those reissues instead. But
mhm.
seeing this at Toynami, that was my number one favorite thing that I saw. The news that came out of there was those Valkyries getting a second shot, and now everybody who's wanted one, it's time. When
Yeah,
they come.
hopefully we can
Uh,
get it.
I think there'll be enough. It won't be like this thing where you do like pre-orders for 5 minutes and then it's gone.
That gets so
Because
annoying these days.
it does, yeah. All the bots buy them up, and then 18 seconds later they're listed on eBay at like,
For three times the amount.
yeah, 2 to 3 times the amount. Yeah, but I think it'll be there for us. But that was far and away my favorite, and there was some kind of cool Transformers stuff that had
Well,
come
that's what
out
I
of
was going to
there.
bring up next. So, one of the things that when I was talking about, I met the designer. His name was Mark Mayer.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the thing that made him laugh was I said, "Hey, so can you tell me when Wind Charger is going to hit?" And he goes, "Oh, all I can say is you should probably come to the Hasbro Pulse panel tonight." And sure enough, there he was. They announced Wind Charger, which, if you're a collector of Transformers and any in the last 10 years, you know that he's the last one we need in order to get that G1 season one series of Autobots complete. He's been the holdout. We've gotten every other Transformer ahead of him, and so now they're finally giving us Wind Charger, and he looks really good.
Yeah, yeah. They got to repaint him into Tailgate?
Oh, no, you know they will. They will.
Yeah, Yeah, I did see that revealed, and I thought he was pretty good. I got them almost all of them in the smaller like scout class scale when they were available. There's a few missing guys, but
Mm.
um, that was really welcome news to see that guy pop up
Yeah.
finally. Um,
And,
did they
there
show
were
off
a
the
couple of other ones
Combaticons?
mentioned that are pretty cool too, but that was the one that I was like super excited for.
Did you get to see Studio Series Megatron?
I did. Um,
What do you think
and
of him?
I actually kind of liked him, to tell you the truth. He looks, I think, as close as they can get to a screen accurate Megatron that doesn't turn into a gun, right?
Yeah, and you guy, they're never going to give it to you.
Mm-mm.
I mean, even making him into some weird, like futuristic looking, gun,
Base
they're
cannon.
just not going to do it. They won't do it with Shockwave, and you're not going to get it with Megatron. So,
Oh,
I was not uh, opposed to that change whatsoever. And from all the regular pictures I saw, it's gorgeous. It'll look
yeah.
great next to Studio Optimus Prime. So, that will be the one time when I probably deviate and buy not Optimus Prime, the Transformer. I actually buy Megatron. I mean, I bought all the Autobots in the new stuff, but I think I gotta have that one. It's looking super awesome.
It does look really, really good. And like I said, as screen accurate as you can get without it being a gun is actually a testament to the engineering that goes on that Hasbro does for these things. Um,
Yeah, and I mean they've taken such care for the curvature that they drew on the characters in the cartoons to figure out how to get like a taper and a curvature to a limb on
right.
these figures, but they still transform into a blocky thing. Like you
Yeah.
still got this blocky cab over engine Freightliner Optimus Prime, but you transform him in the robot, and on his forearms you've got the taper, and on the legs you've got the taper.
Yep.
And I saw that on Megatron too, and was just like, dude, just this is going to be where everyone pisses and moans about it, and then they can't wait to find it
Yeah.
and buy it.
And I think that's exactly what is gonna happen. He's gonna sell out fast, if he hasn't already, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, he's shipping from Big Bad Toy Store early right now.
So,
So I'm kind of waiting for that one to hit the stores. Um, in the wrestling news, did you get to see the LJN style rubber wrestlers that Mattel's putting out?
I did not get to see those. Not
Okay, so
firsthand.
you're I mean we're gonna get a classic one that they're very, very close to the original, but they're not quite the same. But they're these big, heavy, like 7.5 or 8 inch tall rubber wrestlers, and they're gonna be
So
25
no
bucks a piece at
articulation or
Target.
very limited articulation.
None at all. None at all. But I think you get Logan Paul and John Cena. You get a
Logan
retro
Paul.
Hulk Hogan in wave one, and then you also get the Tower Power, the man of the hour, the American Dream, if you will, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Ooh, they got a great Dusty Rhodes in series one, and I'm super tempted because he's in his polka dots.
You got
You
to
know,
get that guy.
the big rib that Vince pulled against him and gave him the yellow and black polka
And he
dots.
sold it.
Who cares? It's Dusty frickin' Rhodes, dude.
I know.
So that's wave one. I think they're out in like October. But it was kind of cool seeing the big rubber LJNs back.
Yeah.
It could have been they were following. There's a wrestler named Matt Cordona who kind of got a project up and running called BRG, Big Rubber Guys.
Hmm.
And they're doing Macho Man and some of these guys that are not under the WWE trademark right now. And they're producing him to look like the old LJNs. So maybe
Nice.
Mattel was like, "Hey, can't beat them, join them, brother. Let's do it. How do we get more money than a regular figure for less work? Oh, pure rubber
Pure
and
rubber.
and crappy paint apps that come off that scratch off super easy.
Right on.
So that was neat. I saw that news that came out of the con too.
Yeah, there was, like I said, there was so much that came out. Let me see if I can. So they announced like some of the crossovers, which we'll talk about probably in our next segment. for Masters of the Universe. Again, Masters of the Universe is crossing over with all these different properties, um, and some of them are landing, and I think some of them are not.
Yeah. Well, if you want to save that to
For the discussion
the
later, yeah, we can
discussion
do that.
thing, then yeah, yep. Sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. But yes, many a crossover were announced.
Oh, what they did have was the new mask. What was that? What booth
Oh,
was that? They had
you got to see those at Loyal Subjects?
they were for sale, and they were like reasonably priced if you got there. Like by the time I found them and saw them, sold out signs were all next to all of them. But they were there. So some people have them, so we should be seeing those things anytime now. Like being able to order.
Yeah, I
When they
don't
get
know
them.
what the mass retail plan is for those. I would hope that they get to Walmart because Loyal Subjects has had like the Rainbow Bright that came to Walmart, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the stuff that they've worked on the retro toys. They just released images for Jim and the holograms 12-inch dolls. They're
So
rad. I love them.
yeah.
I can't wait until they release the Misfits, all the naughty girls that were the antagonists.
By the way, if
Um,
you're watching and you're into Gem and the holograms, Hasbro, or one of the channels just released the full Gem and the holograms album for streaming. Go listen to that
oh,
if you're into
sweet. That's awesome, dude.
that.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So how did they look? Did you get to see them in person? How the actual like plastics and everything?
They
How
look
did those?
really good. They
Good.
good enough that as a guy collector, you're questioning whether you should buy them or not.
Well,
The same feelings are drudged up while you're looking at Rainbow Bright going, I wonder if I should buy that.
well, my wife really wanted one of those,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we got
Okay.
one.
I didn't use that. I mean, excuse. No, I didn't use that reason.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. They did some unboxing videos, and they looked like they were solid, like the original toys.
Yeah.
Vac metal, just like everybody was worried about that we were going to get silver. They're all vac metal.
Yep.
And then they announced Hurricane and Jackhammer Series 2.
Really?
They did. It might have come after you were, packing it up, but
I did
they
not.
showed,
But I love the Hurricane. That's one of my favorite mass vehicles.
yeah, 57 Chevy and Jackhammer are the next wave that are coming.
Nice.
So I'm just wondering though why we didn't get Firecracker. Um,
Oh, the orange truck. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because that was Hondo's whip before Hurricane. And I would argue maybe a little cooler with the little detachable motorcycle and uh,
Maybe they thought that the Hurricane was a little bit more recognizable. I don't know.
or it could be that the engineering required to make these was far simpler in Jackhammer and Hurricane. I mean, they got to be thinking about the tooling costs.
Hmm.
And you had Firecracker, which it wasn't quite at the level of Rhino, but I mean, it had a lot of like intricate
It
stuff
did,
on
and
it.
it had a lot of thin pieces too.
Yeah.
You had the guns under the wheel wells. You had the crossing X guard, which was made of thin plastic. The motorcycle clasp was made of thin plastic. Those are the things that always broke, right?
Hmm.
The spring on the inside would always die, and your little wheel with this blade
Yeah.
that would come out would just sit there and spin.
The spare tire would be like, bleh,
Yeah,
like barely
it
even do
doesn't shoot
anything. Yeah.
anymore. But when it
Yeah.
shot, those first three times, wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the line's healthy enough. It's going.
It's
I
definitely
mean, they
healthy, and they're proving that there's life in these '80s franchises that maybe they didn't think about before. I don't know why they wouldn't think that Mask wouldn't have legs, but it has legs.
yeah, let's get a Magnum PI in his car. That would
Oh
be cool
yeah,
as hell,
yeah.
right?
Give me an A-Team reissue. That would be
Oh,
cool.
A Team, yeah, dude, yes. They should totally hit A Team. And I wouldn't care
Yeah,
if they did that Super 7 style, with the rudimentary Star Wars, or if they actually went O-ring and did
yeah.
something with that. That'd be cool as hell. I would love an A Team reissue.
Yeah, and get and like Like give us the singles and then give us a deluxe set where you can buy all four with the van. Like that, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Can you imagine like
Oh
a
yeah,
really cool intricate A-Team van available now? I'm not going to tell you what it
you
was that
could.
we suggested to Mark Mayer, but it may or may not have had something to do with that.
Ah, right. Yes. And they could do the Ninja Turtles thing and just have like alternate heads.
Yeah, just give
You know
yeah,
how they did it with the turtle van, which shocked the hell out of me that Hasbro just gave you the interchangeable things to turn it to the different turtles
yep,
instead of releasing it 4 times for $50 a piece with the different turtles accessory loadouts.
yeah. But people still bought them four times, so you could have all four on the same display.
I suppose you're right. Like, how are we supposed to get justice if we keep doing this to ourselves? Come on now.
We are our own worst enemy. Come on now.
Yeah, I know collectors. Yep, I know us.
Yep. So we only got a few more minutes, but we were talking about some pretty cool things before. This just kind of became an all over the news. We are talking about toys and movies. But
Yeah.
let's talk about what, let's talk about Superman because that just came out, and let's talk about Fantastic Four, which I think from a standpoint of going into the theater going, I don't have really high expectations. Both of them exceeded my expectations. Have you seen Superman?
That's good to hear. I have not seen Fantastic Four. I did watch Superman, and I'm gonna tell you, I had like some genuine like goosebump moments and like the lump in the throat kind of moments because I really feel like we got to see the real like Superman standing
Yeah.
up. And I don't want to knock Zack Snyder's Man of Steel too much because for the time it was a product of the era, but Zack Snyder didn't get Superman. He just didn't get the character.
He
James Gunn
he
gets
gave us a
Superman.
different type of Superman that probably wasn't a mainstream image of what Superman was. I
Well,
liked
and
him, but
you're
I wasn't like an uber fan or anything. But
no, I mean like what we were missing was like that charm, the charm and the kindness of the Chris Reeves Superman, and that's what we really got in this new movie. And some of the humor was a tiny bit juvenile, and the pacing was incredibly fast to cram a lot of stuff into it. But um, so perfect, no. Great Superman moments and good Superman movie. 100% yes.
absolutely. Um, I'm a good firm believer of all the characters or all the actors that have played Superman have been Superman. In some form or another, I don't hate any of them. In fact, I love them all. Um, and it's kind of hard to gauge them all against Christopher Reeve, which would be an unfair ranking because he was my Superman. I grew up with him. I'm biased. I'm going to be biased, so I can't really rank them against Christopher Reeve because they would all lose. But I think they're all Superman, and David Cornsweet really did a good job of being Clark Kent and being Superman, which I
He
felt like
did.
his Superman was a little more Clark Kent, whereas Henry Cavill Superman was a little more Superman and less Clark Kent. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Like if this alien was raised as a good old boy in, Kansas, wouldn't he be a good person by nature if that's how he was raised? So Clark is the real guy and Superman's the outfit. Whereas,
I believe that.
Batman's horrible and twisted and Batman is the real guy and Bruce Wayne now is like the shell that it only exists to get Batman's work done. So
Yeah.
that's what we got with David Cornsweet's Superman, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun.
I
Bright popcorn movie, and a great, really a couple of great Superman moments where it just like gives you goosebumps
oh, absolutely.
thinking about like a few of the things that he did, and they weren't the most powerful moments weren't when he's pushing a building or like a kaiju or whatever.
Mhm.
They're like very small moments that are in the movie, but it just tells you who he is at his core.
Yeah.
That
I
and
and
I
and
wanted a
on
few
top of
more of
that,
those, but hey, on top of what?
Well, I was going to say I realized I was interrupting him. Sorry. We have a tiny bit of a lag.
Oh no, no,
Um,
sorry. I'm done with my tangent there, but go
okay,
go
so
for it.
on top of that, we had Guy Gardner, we had Hawk Girl, we had Mr. Terrific, we had Metamorpho. We had a lot of characters who I thought would take away like it would be kind of a jumbled mess. And in parts, it could have felt that way, but I think all of them kind of nailed their character. Um, and in particular, I was an immediate fan of Mr. Terrific. I don't know if you were,
Oh yeah.
but that dude killed it, and I was absolutely enthralled with his character. And I love when he's like, a tiny bit of a spoiler if you're watching, you haven't seen it, plug your ears. But I like when Superman had got done fighting, and Mr. Terrific looks down on him and goes, "Quit messing around." And he's like, "I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff."
Yeah, that was great. And if you ever wanted to see Guy Gardner at his douchey peak, then nobody better than Nathan Fillion to put that pumpkin pie haircutted wig on like that. That was great.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, all over. Was it a masterpiece of a Superman movie? No, but was it a good movie to go and watch? And will I watch it again? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, terrific. And knowing that I haven't seen Fantastic Four, it seems like a really hard one to nail to get the characters right. But the guy who plays Thing, I absolutely love that guy. He's on The Bear, this
Yeah.
great show
So
about a restaurant. So tell me a little bit about that.
so actually, all of them, believe it or not, did really well for their characters that they were playing. In fact, I think um the only one that like was undersold, that didn't quite do everything that you would expect him to was Mr. Fantastic, right? Reed Richards. Um, I think Hollywood and a lot of people right now are kind of going through Pedro Pascal fatigue. Um, but he did a pretty good job. I was not unimpressed with the work that he did for his character, but I do think the lady that played Sue and the guy that played Johnny, the Human Torch, and the Thing, very very good. And the whole heartburn about there being a female Silver Surfer,
Oh,
um, didn't I didn't really care. I felt that that person played a good character. They were not necessarily in the movie as much as you would think they were, but what they were was kind of important parts. And I think that person did a very good job actually of being the Silver Surfer. So yeah, like I said, I went in with I did not go in with high expectations, so they were able to exceed my expectations because I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but what I got was actually a pretty decent movie. They did a good job.
good, good. I'll definitely see it. I'll see it 100%. And I mean, Superman might be the first one that I buy on 4K or whatever in a very long time for superhero movies.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I will.
Uh,
And I'm hoping that there'll be another one. I really do because I think that David Cornsweet is actually a really good Superman. He looks like he's a decent person too, which is a nice thing.
yeah, well, it's as we're talking, the movie's like approaching 540-ish or 550 million. Um, they wanted 500 million to kind of break even and to
Mhm.
maybe consider going forward. So by the time it ends its run, it'll probably be close to six or mid sixes, and then it's
Mhm.
going digital at the end of this month. But one of my favorite things that I heard is because of this movie, there has been an uptick of people in comic book stores,
Mm.
children, and pet adoptions have seen a huge
I
spike
did
since
hear
it
about
came
that. I
out.
did hear about that.
So come on, man, like Superman's a good guy when it's not even a part like in the movie.
Yeah,
Superman's a good dude and he's inspiring people to
to go out and
uh
do a change, and it's good to see kids out there in comic stores again.
yeah, yeah, and there's a hashtag and I think it's kindness is the new punk rock.
Oh, because he says
It,
that in the movie. Yeah.
yes.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm punk rock.
We got 10 seconds.